Hi, I'm Tom from Wakefield Music Tuition. Today's video is about staying motivated when learning an instrument. We'll look at why motivation dips and how to keep moving forward when it does. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. This is the sixth in a series of short videos where I talk through common challenges that music learners often face. The ideas aren't specific to any one instrument, but are meant to offer some guidance and encouragement along the way. Whether you study with me or you're learning on your own, I hope this helps you make a bit more sense of those periods where motivation dips or practice starts to feel harder than it should. Staying motivated isn't something that just beginners struggle with. Even experienced players go through the same cycles. And in this video, I want to look at some simple, practical ways to keep moving forward when progress feels slow or life starts getting in the way. When you first start learning an instrument, motivation is usually high. Everything feels new and exciting. Progress often comes quickly. You might pick up a song section faster than you expected, or get through an exercise without too much trouble, and it all feels encouraging. But after a while, that early momentum starts to slow down. You might spend longer on a section and feel like nothing's changing, even though it actually is. On top of that, life starts to intrude. Work, school, family, tiredness, and that's often when excuses creep in. I'll do it tomorrow, or I don't really have the energy today. Those thoughts feel genuine in the moment. They're very common and very normal. Recognising that this slowdown happens to everyone though, makes it easier to deal with. It's not a sign that you're doing anything wrong, it's just part of learning something properly. One of the most effective ways to stay motivated is to keep practice small and manageable. Even 5 minutes a day is worthwhile. That could be running through a single chord progression, tapping out a rhythm, or playing just one short scale. Very often, learners wait for the perfect time to practice. When everything's quieter, they don't have any distractions, and life feels a bit calmer. But in reality, that ideal moment rarely shows up. So waiting for it often means practice just doesn't happen. Aim for consistency, not length. Once you get started, you'll often carry on longer than you plan to anyway. And even when you don't, you've still kept that habit going. Over time, those small sessions build confidence and momentum without practice feeling like a big commitment. Your practice surroundings make a bigger difference than most people realise. If your instrument is out on a stand and ready to play, you're far more likely to pick it up. If it's packed away in a case, it becomes another barrier, and those barriers add up. Think about your comfort as well. Good lighting, a chair that feels right, and having your music or backing tracks easily available and on hand all help practice feel more inviting. None of this needs to be perfect, just practical. The easier it is to start, the less effort it takes to keep going. Small changes to your setup can turn practice from feeling like a chore into something that happens more naturally. Instead of setting yourself lofty and vague goals like get better, focus on small, specific targets. That might be cleaning up one chord change, keeping a rhythm steady for a length of time, or playing a phrase smoothly. Hitting small goals regularly keeps motivation ticking along. It also helps to reduce distractions where you can. Phones and notifications break focus very easily. Even short periods of uninterrupted practice are far more useful than longer sessions where attention keeps drifting. So if you rely on technology during your practice, try using devices that won't distract you, or use airplane mode if you can. Tracking your progress is productive and can be very simple. A few notes in a diary or short recordings on your phone can show those improvements that are easy to miss from day to day. Then, looking back and hearing something that sounds better than it did just a few weeks ago is often all the motivation you need to keep going. It's very important to acknowledge your progress, even when it feels small. Getting through a tricky section cleanly or keeping time for a full song are the kind of things that really matter. Taking a moment to recognise that helps practice feel worthwhile. And try not to lose sight of why you started learning music in the first place. Enjoyment matters. Progress and technique are important, but they're there to support the experience of playing, not replace it. If you can keep some enjoyment in your practice, it becomes much easier to stay consistent. Motivation isn't something you wait around for. It's something you build through small habits, realistic expectations, and showing up regularly, even on the days where you don't feel particularly inspired. If this video resonated with you in some way, feel free to subscribe for more beginner-friendly tips. I'd also love to hear what you find most difficult when it comes to staying motivated. So leave a comment and let me know. If you'd like to find out more about my music tuition or book lessons, you can visit my website. The link's in the description below. You'll find details about how my lessons work, availability, and how I support students at different stages. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.